بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد لله رب العالمین بارئ الخلائق اجمعین. الصلاة و السلام علی عبده و رسوله حافظ سره و مبلغ رسالاته سیدنا و مولانا ابوالقاسم مصطفی محمد و علی اهل بیته الطیبین الطاهرین المعصومین. اعوذ بالله من الشیطان الرجیم. Brothers and sisters, honorable scholars, Samahat, beloved Imam of the Center, Hazrat Hujjatul Islam wal Muslimin, Hajjai Sabiri, Salamun alaykum jami'an wa rahmatullah. I would like to congratulate everyone on this happy occasion, and it gives me a great honor and pleasure to be among you and your sincere community tonight. Before I start, I would like to present a short poem to honor of Imam Ali ibn Musa Reza alayhi salam, which, if you bear with me, this poem is in Farsi. تو یادگار هفتمین سپیده ای، شکوه ماندنی ترین قصیده ای. اشارتی ز بیکران روشنی که از دیار بی نشان رسیده ای. ستاره حریم سبز فاطمه، ستاره حریم سبز فاطمه ز بی نهایت خدا دمیده ای. بهار سبز باغ‌های آرزو، امام قصه های ناشنیده ای. گل نجیب باغ آفرینشی که در دلم بهار آفریده ای. تو قلب عاشقان هر زمانه را به لطف و بخششت خریده ای. میان لاله های سرخ آشنا، غریب آشنا تو برگزیده ای. دلا ز شوق لحظه زیارتی چه عاشقانه از قفس پریده ای. بهار شد دوباره باغ باورم ز عشق تو که روشنای دیده ای. به شام غربت سیاه عالمی، به شام غربت سیاه عالمی طلوع فجر هشتمین سپیده ای. صلوات محبت Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the holy book of Quran said, this is a conversation between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Shaitan or Satan. After Shaitan disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prostrate before Adam and Eve. You know the story. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told all the angels, which Satan was among them, to prostrate. And Satan said, no, I'm not going to do that. Allah said, why? Just in this short conversation, look how kind is our Lord. If the Lord of the universe is telling one of his creation to prostrate, and he's saying no, he is still asking why. Instead of saying, okay, get out of here. And we say, why? I wanted to know why you don't want it to prostrate. He knows why. But for the sake of argument, for me and you to know how to deal with each other. Like sometimes I ask somebody to do something, or you ask someone to do something, and then that person say no. We get upset and say, no, you're telling me no? And then some other words after that. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying what? Then Satan replies, because you created me from fire. And Allah said, this is your ego talking. Now you think you are better, you think you are better, right? Now it's time for you to get out of here. So after this, because Satan worshipped Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to some narration for 6,000 years. And Allah is going to reward him somehow. Because Allah said, if you worship me, I'm going to reward you. So Satan comes back and said, okay, what about the 6,000 years that I worship? Allah said, what do you want for that? He said, I wanted to take as many people as I can to hell with myself. Because I'm going to hell because of the human, because of the Adam. So I wanted to take as many people as possible. I wanted to deceive them in life. And then you give me that power. Of course, and Allah said, okay, I'll give you the power. Some may ask why? Why Allah gave him the power? This was the plan of the creation. At the very beginning, Allah wanted to test us. Allah said in the Holy Book of Quran, I'm going to test you. It's not like that everybody goes to heaven. I'll test, and whoever passed the test will go to heaven. But someone had to do that deceiving job. Someone has to be the leader for taking people to the wrong way. Because Allah has Imam for the hidayat and guidance, and leader for misguidance. The Imam who do the hidayat and guidance is appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the one who do misguidance, Allah do not appoint them, because it would not be fair that Allah said, okay, I appoint this person to take you to hell. No, because that person, is not in any fault if he's get appointed. Allah said, for the Imam of misguidance and Imam of Zalala, I will take volunteers. Okay, who wanted to be take that role? Shaitan said, I'm going to take that role. Allah said, okay, you are the one. So now, Allah is telling Shaitan, go entice whoever you can with your call, with your invitation. Allah said, okay, go. Deceive as many people as you want it with your call. Meaning, Shaitan does not have any power to do anything. All he can do is to just whisper and say, okay, this is delicious, this is good, this is, if you do this, you're gonna live forever, you're gonna be rich, you're gonna be like that, like this. So Allah said, okay, go entice people with your invitation. Bring all your armies, those that they walk and those that they run on their horses. Bring your armies to deceive people. Because Shaitan by himself cannot do much. Shaitan has to come whisper me, take me as an army, and say, okay, you also go and whisper to other people. And listen to this point. Allah said to Shaitan, become a partner with people in their wealth and with their children. This is what I want to talk tonight. Allah gives the authority and the power to Shaitan to become our partner in our wealth and with our children. So, wealth I can understand. For example, if you take me to become your partner in your wealth and asset, I take it. After seeing me after the talk. So, wealth I can understand. Shaitan comes and say, okay, you have this much wealth, you're so wealthy, or you have all these assets, go gamble, dabble it, go drink alcohol, go do this. So yes, of course, he's my partner now with my money, because that's not the things I should have done. But now he's coming, whispering in my ears, enticing me to go and spend my money. The money that is mine, it should do some good for me, now it's doing harm to me. He's my partner. But being partner with my kids is kind of hard to digest. How come shaitan, or how can shaitan become my partner with my kids, or with your kids? How does it work? Some of you have heard, especially in other countries, people, they have like a piece of land, vacant land. They can, they own the land. They say, this person has that land. Somebody else comes in and say, okay, if you put your land, I will build a house for you in that land. I will form a beautiful building for you in that land. And they join a partnership. They build a house in that land. The landowner is still owning the land, but now in that land there is some formation of a building. So Allah is telling shaitan, go and become a partner with people. They have the children, you form it for them. You shape them for them. You take it in a way that you want it. This is the word of Quran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling shaitan, go and become their partner. Design and form their children for them. And when I say this, sometimes this doesn't make sense. I say, what? Allah is giving shaitan the power to be my father's partner and form me for them? That is not fair. But listen, Allah is telling this to us. This is the Quran is for us. Allah is telling us, shaitan has that power, be careful. On the other hand, I gave you the brain. I gave you the power to prevent that from happening. I'm telling you, how many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Book of Quran said, and shaitan is your declared enemy, is your obvious enemy. To us to be careful. Why Allah mentioning that one after another? So we be careful. We come again and work against that to happen. But now when I look in the community, I see that, those piece of lands, the owner of those lands, they just left the land alone and shaitan is building on them for them. We left our kids alone and shaitan came in without even thinking, without working on them, without preventing this from happening. And shaitan is working on them. And then when we wake up, it's too late. They built a building. Like some people, I heard that some people, they went back to their country, they had the land, all of a sudden they saw there is a building in there. Somebody built a building for them. So same thing. All of a sudden we wake up, we see, oh wow, my children, is this my children? Is that little baby that I cherish and nourish? Why he's like that? Why she's like that? Why she's going this way? Why he's going that way? Because this is a celebration, it's not bad to tell you little things to bring some smile in your faces. They said this family, they had two children. One was like 17 years old, one was 15 years old, two sons. These sons were very bad-mannered kids. They did not respect their parents, they did not obey their orders. Everybody was so annoyed with them. And the parents were devastated. They did everything possible. They tried to encourage them to buy them gifts. Didn't work. They punished them. Didn't work. And they didn't know what to do. So they went to the neighbor and said, we are going crazy, these people, our kids, they take everything, they throw it somewhere else. We cannot find our things in our house. Every time, I leave my keys on the table, I come to go back, I cannot find it, and, because they put it around somewhere else, and I asked them, they said, I didn't touch it. While I know they touched it, they put it around, but they, what should we do? They said, I know these kids, the neighbor said, I know these other children or kids who go to the masjid, and they're very well-mannered kids. So go to the imam of the masjid and ask what he did with them that they become like that. So you do the same thing. So they went to the imam of the masjid and said, this is their story with our kids. I mean, we're going crazy. Me and their mom, we're going crazy. We can't find anything around our house. Imam of the masjid said, how old they are? They said 17 and 15. And also, what can I do with you? These are adults, these are not kids, You should have brought them to the masjid since they were like 6 years old, 5 years old. It's too late, I can't do anything. They said, we are devastated, please help us, please come talk to them. So one day, Imam of the masjid passing by their house, he saw that they are working in their yard, so he went and said, okay, which one of these children you want? They said, both of them, but talk to the younger one first. So Imam of the masjid said, can I tell these kids, 15 years old? He thought that I'll go and ask him, tell him that God is everywhere, He watches you, be careful and all those things, respect your parents. So he went and said, son, do you know where God is? All of a sudden that son started screaming and running to his room. They were all wondering what happened. They said, what happened? He said, I don't know, I didn't say anything. I just asked him, I just want to start talking to him and say God is everywhere and this and that. I just said, do you know where God is? And he ran. So they asked the older brother and said, go and find out what's going on. So he went and knocked on the door and said, oh brother, what happened? Why are you acting so crazy? The younger brother said, you don't know what happened? He said, no. He said, God is lost and this guy is coming to put the fault on my shoulder. So, this is the story. It might sound funny because it's a little bit exaggerated, but this is a story that, if you look at our kids, not, alhamdulillah, the kids that come to the masjid are those well-mannered ones, but those that in Muslim society, almost when you look at them, they're lost. And you know who's at fault? They are not at fault. I am at fault. You are at fault. We should work really hard. There is a verse in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you are not going to be asked about the old generation, about the people before you. As soon as you hear that, you expect that Allah is going to say, okay, you're going to only be asked about what you do. And you are not going to be asked about people before you and after you. You're only responsible for your act. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't say that. Allah only says you are not going to be asked about the people before you. You know what that means? It means that you are going to be asked about the people after you. We are responsible for those people who come after us. Because anything that we establish, if it's bad, and other people, they use that act, we are going to get blamed for it. But on the other hand, if we establish something good, this is the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. He said, وَمَنْ سَنَّ سُنَّةٌ حَسَنَةٌ فَلَهُ أَجْرُهَا. Anybody who establish a tradition which is good, there is a credit and sawab for it. فَأَجْرَ مَنْ عَمَلُ بِهَا, and there is a credit and reward for that person who established it, for anybody who acts upon that tradition until the day of judgment. And vice versa. If you establish something bad, if you raise a kid that is not good, you are going to get the penalty for all your progeny, one after another. One have you for your grandkid, for your grand-grandkid, and so on. Till when? Till the day of judgment. So we have to be honestly very careful. Unfortunately, this materialistic world that we live in is only train us, because what they teach us in this society and every society that you go is this: the more you have, the better person you are. The more you accumulate, the more honorable you are. The more wealthy you are, the better you are. So, the more money I have, the more car I have, the more university degree I have, people look at me as a better person. But look what happens to all these things that I have. Say if I have all the wealth in the world that I need, all the university degrees that I desire, all the different collection of the car, collection, I will have a collection of different models, different brands and stuff. As I grew old, is my value is going to go up or going down? Of course it's going down. So are those going to help me? No. I'm going to get old, I'm going to get different diseases, I'm going to just lose my values. But what happened otherwise? If you work the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted us to work, the older I get, the more value I will have. Because the wiser I'm going to be, the more good establishment I'm going to leave behind. And those are the real value. Otherwise, it's like a car. If we treat ourselves in a materialistic world, it's like a brand new car that is worth $200,000. And the first of all, you take that $200,000 car out of the dealership, the price is going to drop by 20-25%. The first scratch on it, another $20,000. And with the first or second accident, it loses its value. So, do you want us to be like that car, that at the young age or at the middle age we will have the highest value, and as we go down, we lose our value? Or you want it to be, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ, we gave honor to the children of Adam. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he said, I give honor, means the honor is from Allah, who has all the honors. So if we treat ourselves as that valuable, we need to work really hard to keep that value. So far, I was talking to my dear brother, Mr. Shahindian. Anywhere I go, I see that he failed in raising good youth for the future. When I say raising good youth, it just doesn't mean that I have to raise my own children. All of these youth here are my children. I'm responsible for all of you. If God forbid one of you do wrong act, I'm going to be responsible in front of Allah. Because when you come to this community, it's my responsibility to make sure that you all raise good. Your parents, of course, have the first-hand responsibilities, but then it comes to the community. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted from us. Now look what Imam Riza alayhi salam, the role of Imam Riza alayhi salam in raising good community for the future. When you compare Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we all are familiar with the story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his time, and compare that with the age that Imam Riza alayhi salam was living at. You see the situation, although the tragedy that Imam Hussein alayhi salam and his follower went through is tremendous. But when you look at the age, you see the hardship that Imam Reza alayhi salam went through. The age that he was living is much, much harder than the age that Imam Hussein alayhi salam was living. Because Imam Hussein alayhi salam was living at the age that the caliph of the time was the most stupid man you could find. After the tragedy of Karbala, he came and sat down and he announced to the whole world that, did you see what I did with the grandson of Prophet? But look at what after the martyrdom of Imam Ali ibn Musa alayhi salam. Ma'mun came and stand on the first row to do the Maghrib prayers. And after that he said, I can't eat and drink because I lost the beloved Imam Reza alayhi salam. Look how makar he was, how deceitful he was to the public. The scholar said that among all the people who called themselves the Amir al-Mu'mineen, the Caliphate, Ma'mun was the smartest of all. And look what he did. He killed his own brother to become the king. And then what happened? The person who doesn't have mercy upon his own brother, he went to Imam Reza alayhi salam and said, you come and be the heir of my throne? You become my wali'ah? Does that make sense? So Ma'mun was very smart because the Abbasid dynasty who came after the Umayyad family, after the Abu Sufyan, Muawiyah and Yazid and those people, how did they get the power? They came because those people, the Umayyad family, became so corrupted that everybody was hating them. So they found an opportunity. They said, this is our opportunity. We go and say the kingdom, the caliphate belonged to Ahlul Bayt. And then we take the followers, we get the support of the people and overthrow the Umayyad family. And they did that. But they were deceiving people. They had something else in mind. After they came in power, they started doing the exact same thing that the Bani Umayyah were doing. And it came to the time of Ma'mun. At the time of Ma'mun, the Islamic empire was so huge that was going from Saudi Arabia to China. It was the size of the whole Europe. And Ma'mun was very smart. He realized without the support of people, he cannot run that dynasty, that empireship. So he said, how do I do that? I have somebody who can overthrow me. And that is only, that one person is Ali ibn Musa Reza and his follower. What I do, I bring him under my supervision. So he said, I can't just afford to leave him in Medina. I have to bring him to Khorasan or Marv, so I watch him. And then little by little, I try to defame him. And I tell you what was his plan. But why? Why Imam Reza alayhi salam at that time was the number one danger to Ma'mun kingdom? Because all the work that his father and grandfather did, all the work that Imam Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salam, what they did, they spread the knowledge. They spread the knowledge, the people became knowledgeable. They realized who is with the truth and who is against the truth, who is going to the right way, who is going to the wrong way. And that's what Imam Musa Reza alayhi salam get that power. So Ma'mun did what he did. He brought the Imam to, of course, Imam Reza alayhi salam, right at the very beginning with the first invitation, he realized what the story is. He said no. They said, you have no choice. You have to come. So that's why he went alone. He didn't take his family. And he said, I'll come. But there are conditions. One of those conditions is that I'm not going to participate in any decision making. But I want to save the unity among Muslims, I don't want to create the war right now, to say no, and there is a war going to start, I'm going to come, that's okay. But then I'm going to educate people. And when he was coming throughout the way that he was traveling, people, thousand by thousand, 10,000 people, they come on his way to see him. And this is, I think, one of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought to the Iranian people, that brought such a wonderful blessing to our country. Unfortunately, it is sad to say that we do not appreciate it the way that we should, because we achieved that blessing with ease. I'm not sure if I told you the story about that musician in the past when I was here. There was this musician in one of the New York subway. You went to the subways and stuff, you see some people, they start playing violin or guitar, and they put their hat down, and the people, they throw money in it, right? So there was this musician standing in one of the subway. This is not to say that music is good, but this is a true story I'm telling you. So this musician was playing there, and after 10 minutes of playing, somebody dropped $1 on his hat. Then another 5 minutes passed. There was this girl walking with her mother. She said, I want to stop and listen to him. So they stopped, listened to him for like about 1-2 minutes, and the mom said, let's go. He played 49 minutes in that subway, and he collected $39. You know who this man was? This man called Joshua Bell. He's the most famous violinist in the world. This wasn't happened by accident. This was a study that one of the universities placed him there. The day before this incident, he had a concert in Texas that for 3 sequences in a row on that day, all of his ticket was sold, and the ticket was $100 per person. But when it came for free, nobody appreciated it. This is our story with Imam Raza alayhi salam. Can anybody in our audience say that I asked, especially when you were young, you asked something from Imam Raza alayhi salam to get it from God for you, and he didn't? We have such a kind Imam that even if you don't need anything, because we call him Imam al-Ra'uf. Ra'uf means you don't ask for anything. Like when you go to your grandma's house, you don't ask for anything, but on the way coming back, she'll say, okay, take this, I wanted you to eat this at home. You go to Mashhad, when you come back, you just go for ziyarah. He gives you something. Let alone if you ask something. So I'm sure you all have stories to tell about, especially at the young age. The reason I'm saying at the young age, when you read the story of the people who have achieved something in their lives, who got some kind of blessing from Allah, you will find out those are the people who were pious from the young age. From my age, if I want to be pious, Allah is still merciful. Allah is going to still accept me. But it's not as good. I'm not going to get that blessing like you guys going to get if you be pious, if you follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because our life is like a sun rising in the morning, reaching at its highest position at noon, and setting at sunset. We born like a sunrise. At the age of 40, we have 40 years to develop ourselves, make mistakes. Go this way, go that way, and learn from it. After the age of 40, I'm done with me. now it's my turn to start developing other people. Until I said, so we have like, honestly, our life is just like one day. From morning to noon belongs to us to develop ourselves. From noon to sunset to Maghrib is us developing other people. And this is the rule we have to follow. Following this path, we need a role model. Without the role model, is almost impossible. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the most perfect, most beautiful role models for us. And all those imams. And amongst them is Ali ibn Musa al-Raza, Shams al-Shumus, Mu'in al-Zu'afa. Salawat Muhammad When you look at Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Raza's life, you see when he comes, first of all, you have heard all of you, or most of you have heard the hadith of golden chain. That Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Raza, when he was coming from Medina to Khurasan and to Mar, on the middle of the way, 20,000 people, they came to visit him. So they wanted him to say something. They wanted to learn something. Imam came from his carriage and said, I have heard from my father, Imam Musa Kazim, who said he had heard from his father, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, who said that he has heard from his father, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, who said he had heard from his father, Imam Sajjad, who said he had heard from his father, Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who said he had heard from his father, Imam Ali alayhi salam, that Imam Ali alayhi salam said he had heard from Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who said he had heard from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because of this chain of narration, they call this the golden chain. That Allah said, Kalimatu la ilaha illallah hisni. Aman dakhala hisni, meaning the word la ilaha illallah, that there is no God but Allah, is like a fortress, is like a square with a strong wall. And whoever enters this square is going to be saved from the torment. So people, they got really happy. They said, oh, mashallah, I said la ilaha illallah, that's good. I entered that square. Imam paused and said, بِشَرْتَهَا وَشُرُوتَهَا, meaning there is a condition. وَأَنَا مِنْ شُرُوتَهَا, and I'm one of those conditions. What does that mean? Meaning what? Meaning what? Meaning Imam is, for example, if I come to you and say, I'm one of the conditions, they said, what? Your condition was what? Imam said, because Imam knows. He said, you have to follow. I'm your role model. You have to follow me. I am one of those conditions. If you want to be saved from the torment, you need to follow me. Meaning, on the other hand, you know what that means? Meaning just by saying is not enough. Your action is what it counts. Your action, because with our action we should follow. Action, dear brothers and sisters, is really important. All our children are born to be like Imam Reza alayhi salam. Not him, cannot be exactly like him, but close to him. To follow him is our responsibility to make them grow like that. You know, the best formula, do you want me to tell you the best formula that you can destroy your children? Yeah? The best formula to destroy your children, to do sin, to disobey Allah. Because your children at the age of 4 and 5, they think their father is the hero, the strongest man in the world, and their mother is the kindest, the most perfect parents he has. As soon as he sees that you disobey Allah, because فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, even the 4 years old boy or girls, they know what is good, what is bad. As soon as they see that you do something bad, they say, oh, my hero, my role model is doing something bad, so it's okay for me to do bad. And then, because we say, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that, we can't get nowhere. It's not going to work. It's with our action that we can, if as a speaker I come to your masjid, and then tomorrow you see me doing some strange thing, what do you think in your mind? You say, is this the guy who was talking about Islam and is trying to guide me? So if that's correct, if what he's doing is correct, maybe it's correct for me to do it too. So this is very important that we be the role model, but we cannot be the perfect role model. We have the perfect role models. We have those imams, so we can look up to them and say, okay, how can I be the role model for these kids? If I want to do something, I say, if Imam Reza alayhi salam was here, would he approve that? Would he do the same thing? So then I shouldn't do it either. When we realize to be hero, we have to turn away from sin. They say, انان پیچان نفس از گناه به مردی ز رستم گذشتند و سام. If you turn away from sin, then you stay that hero that you used to be for your children. And that's how, inshallah, the community is going to grow. حاج آقای صابری فرمودن نگران وقت نباشید. من خیلی مطلب دارم برای شما بگم. اگر خوابتون میاد ساعتتون رو برای 1 ساعت دیگه کوک کنید که خوبه، یعنی که خوبه که تمام کنم دیگه، چون گرمم هست. من اگه خنک بود شاید بیشتر مزاحم موضوعات شما میشد.
گرمی بهتر خواب رو می‌گیره آقا.
اون هم یه حرف درست نیست. درست میکنم. دوستان، اگر میبینی جوانها, if you see that the youth in the community, at least I see in our community, they are not reliable. You ask them to do something, they say okay, and nobody does it. You ask them to come to the masjid, they say, oh, what kind of food you are serving? And it's hard to bring them to the masjid. Don't blame them. They are not at fault. Our beloved Prophet said, "Ash-shabab shu'batun min al-junun." Youth, they are branch of craziness in them. So, can you argue with the crazy person? Of course not, right? Is it make sense to argue with somebody who's crazy? No. You have to say, "Qalu salama." But then, on the other hand, we have to be our action attracted. They have to say, "Oh, I can live like Taghei Saberi. He's my role model. If he can live it like this without disobeying Allah, I should be able to do it too." And that takes lots of work, lots of patience. I heard about one of the scholars who saw in their street, he was a young man in one of the youth of their street, the alley that they were living in. He found out that he had bad friends. He's joining some people who are not good. What I would have done, I would say, go grab his hand and say, "Why are you going with these people? I'm going to tell your father." Do you think that would work? No? You know what he did? He called him and he said, "I really love you. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to listen to you. Come every evening to my store. I give you some candies and things that I have for free. You tell me just your stories." And this person, this young man, he felt he's important. He felt, he said, this man in our alley who's a very respectable man, he has a store, everybody respect him. He wanted to listen to me, so I'm important. So every evening he went and talked to him. And that man, when he was saying, I did that, so he would just say, this is very interesting what you do. What you're saying is so amazing, you know. Then he told some of his own stories to him. And that person, little by little, he moved away from those bad people because he felt important now. He felt that he belongs to somewhere else. And then when he grew up, he was one of the scholars, I don't want to use his name in here, but he said, now when I look back, I realize that what I was telling that man when I was young was of no importance at all. But he made me feel so important that changed my life totally. They asked him, how many months or how many days you used to go and talk to this man? He said, 3.5 years. That man spent 3.5 years of his life listening to nonsense and changed his life. This is how we should be with our youth. We have to be patient, don't get frustrated, invite them, they don't come, invite them again and again and again. And inshallah, I like that, to come to some of the masjid, at least in my lifetime, and see they flourish with their youth. Because this is what is going to count, honestly. At my age, coming to the masjid has become like a habit. You know, I wanted to see my friends every Friday night or every Thursday night. I'll go see my friends, start talking and gossiping about everything that happened during the week. And you know, the imam is talking on the pulpit, and then I just, you know, I'm in my own world. You know, but the young are not like that. The young, they come here to learn something. The youth, they come here to see if we can offer them something. We have to give them the sense of belonging. I really enjoyed seeing this young man coming and moderating the event. This is what we need to do. We need to involve them. They think this is their masjid. They don't come to the masjid and say, oh, this masjid belongs to my grandmother or grandfather. They need to come to the masjid and say, this is my masjid. They come to the imam and say, I have 2 hours today, what can I do? We have to have program for them. We just not come and say, oh, I don't know, we don't have anything. We said, no. For volunteers who come, for the youth, we have this task. We have this task. When they come, I'll give them some task, so they feel belongs to the masjid. Usman, there's too much to say, and I don't want to waste more time of yours. I know you know all these things. I'm just voicing from your mouth. Inshallah, we're gonna put our hands together and flourish with our future generation, which this future generation, if they take the flag, I promise you, they run better than me and you. I promise you with 100%. If we can give them the flag, they take it way further than we may imagine. And alhamdulillah, in this country, you know, you see the Islam is growing. And that's the reason you see all this, why there is all this advertisement against Islam. Because they see Islam is growing. But we have to grow it good. Yeah, because, you know, when the people look at me and you, they don't count me as like Mehdi Taghei, or they don't count me as Hussein and Hassan. They say, yeah, this is Islam. Our neighbor, they see us as a representative of Islam. They say, oh, this is how Muslims are. So we have to be number one, inshallah. Salawat ma'abat تو برای آتشم بارش باران است، به تن مرده من روح و دل و جان است. ای آبی آرام دلم سوخته است. Imagine کنید که we are standing in front of the holy shrine of Imam Reza alayhi salam and we recite this. ای آبی آرام دلم سوخته است، زخم دل را تو فقط چاره و درمان است. من غریب آمده‌ام مثل شما ای مولا، تو انیس دل غمگین غریبان است. باز آهوی دلم زار و اسیر غم‌هاست، ضامنم باش که تو حامی انسان است. تو به گرداب غم و دلهره و ترس و عذاب منجی و مأمن دلهای پریشان است. ساکنان حرمت غرق سعادت هستند، برکت و روشنی اهل خراسان است. دل اسیر غم و دارم ز تو امید نجات، ای که تو ضامن آهوی بیابان است. و صلی الله علی محمد و آله الطاهرین.